Hello Internet, this is your daily dose of data science. Today we are going to do sentiment analysis on a sample of reviews gotten from Amazon. Basically, what we are going to do is to label text as having positive or negative sentiments. So subscribe if you are not, and let's get this party started. So I have these reviews. I've just gotten them from Amazon, just copied them and pasted them here in a list. And the problem that we're trying to solve today is to be able to label these texts as having positive or negative sentiments. So this data here, I've put it in a list called Amazon reviews, and this list here, I'm going to make a data frame out of it. So I have here, this is Amazon reviews, then I run this and I run that. So I have my data frame here. I want to keep this as sentiment data the way you see I have labeled here this notebook, and I'm going to import this data into another notebook. So let me create a new notebook that I'm going to use to do the labeling, and let me rename this as sentiment labels. Then the first thing I'm going to do is to run this notebook inside the new notebook that I have created. But before that, let me save it. Then I'm going to run it here. So %run. Then the path to that notebook is /sentiment data. Then I run this cell. When I run this cell, it will automatically run everything inside this notebook, so we can access this data here. If I do data, we can access the data because we have run this notebook inside this cell, and everything that is created here, whether it is a class or it is a function or it is an object like this pandas object, it can be accessed here. This is a way different companies create libraries in notebooks, and you can be able to import your libraries here if you're working in a team of data science. So I have my data here. It has these labels. I'm going to now import the requirements I need. I think I will need pandas. I'm not sure. Import. Yeah. Do I need it? I think I need it. We already have it imported this side, but let's just import it. Import pandas SPD. Also numpy. Import numpy. Import numpy as np. We are going to use natural language toolkit, so we're going to import it. Import nltk. Then we're going to in the toolkit we are going to use to remove stop words from our sentences. So we need to have nltk. We're going to download the the stop words. Download nltk stop words. I don't know who is making the dogs bark. Yeah, so where were we? Downloading stop words. So we're going to use stop words to remove stop words. Stop words are very common words that are used in sentences, like us, like they, like to, like I. So this would not give us lots of context. So we could decide to remove them or to keep them based on the problem that you're solving. Then we're going to use Veda lexicon, and this will help us to, the libraries within the Veda lexicon will help us to label the text into sentiments, positive or negative sentiments. So NLTK dot download. Vendor lexicon. Then we are going to, after downloading them, we are going to import the stopwords. So from nltk dot corpus import stopwords. Then I'm also going to use a package that will help me. It will help me track my loops. The TQDM, it will help me to log the progress of what I'm working on the loop. You'll see when we reach there. So from TQDM import TQDM. Then we're also going to work with some regular expressions. So we're going to import regular expression. I hope I've installed. Yeah. So after this, we are going to create a function that is going to do the contractions of the text. For example, I have seen a text here doesn't. We want to decontract this to become does not. It's to I think it's is just it's. Then can't to cannot, and so forth. So we're going to create a function to do that. So the contractions, and it's going to take a phrase, and the phrase is a string, and it's going to return, hopefully it is we're going to return a string. Then we're going to create the map list. So map list is the list of the words that we're going to map. And then the first one is won't. Let me use this won't. It has that there, and this is will not. Let me pause the video here, then I will show you when I've typed all of them. Yeah, so here we have all the maps that we want. So won't will be mapped to will not, can't will be mapped to cannot, won't again, I have repeated myself, will will also be mapped to will not. Let me remove one here. Then these are more general. If you see N with apostrophe and T, we change it to space with not, and so forth. So let's continue this, and we write our for loop for a map in map list. Our new phrase will be equal to, we're going to do regular expression dot substitute. So a map map. So the first value will be replaced with the second value, and we are doing that on the phrase. Then when we are done with the phrase, we are going to return the phrase. So we will be sure that any occurrence of any of these contractions will be decontracted into this, where you can test this out, let me just put here a comment and say this is a test. Then we're going to do decontractions. Let me copy this and paste here, and then my phrase is going to be I can't, I am done. Whatever you're doing won't work. Whatever you are doing won't work. So we expect this to be I cannot, whatever you're doing will not work. So let's run this. There is this dot here that needs to be corrected, and voila, it works. So I cannot, I am done, whatever you're doing will not work. So we'll use this to do the contractions on the dataset that we have here, so that we have full phrases and not contracted phrases. Then we're going to define our preprocessing function. And this preprocess function will take a series, a column of a data frame, of a pandas data frame. So it's going to be a series column. And the type of this is pd.series. Then it's going to decide, we are going to decide whether we want to remove stop words or we're going to keep them. So stop words, and this is a boolean, so it is a bool, and it's going to return, hopefully, I think I should return a list. We shall change this if it changes. I'm going to return a list. I'm going to make this bigger so that we have enough space. So let's define the list that we're going to return. Pre-processed is the list. Then we are going to start working on this. What should I do now? So with pre-processing, we are going to remove the special characters like a new line. We are going to remove quotes. We are going to substitute some characters with the spaces. Yep. So let me start with the characters to remove. And the characters to remove are going to be /r. I think it should be /. Then we're going to remove some double quotes, just one. Then we're going to remove basically I'm not going to remove them, I'm going to substitute them with the space. Then for sentence in, so this is tqdm, so this will be helping me to track how far the loop has gone. Series column, so it is this series column dot values. So this will give me only the values of this column from pandas. I'm going to make sure that what I have, the sentence, is a string. I know it is a string, but just to make sure that it is a string, just in case there are missing values. So sentence is a string so that it doesn't throw errors, and then I say for a character in these characters to remove, we are going to substitute those characters with the space. So our new sentence is going to be the old sentence dot replace. So we are replacing the character with space. Next, after that, we are going to replace some other characters with sentence. So with space, I mean. So sentence, let's still have sentence equals to regular expression dot sub, and I have a regular expression that I wrote here, which will help me replace characters between words with the space. So that we're going to with space for the sentence. You want to type this, maybe having a typo. Then after that, we are going to decontract. Remember, we created this function here. So we're going to do sentence, we don't type it, will be equal to this function here, then sentence. This is more of just cleaning the data, making sure that it's fine before we pass it through the algorithm that will label it as having positive or negative sentiments. So if this is true, remember this is boolean, so it can be either true or false. If that, then we're going to have sentence will be equal to what we want to do is to, if we want to remove stopwords, we're going to say for sentence in sentence.split. So we want to split, so this is just one phrase like this. We are going to split it into each word, and then we are going to check if that word exists in stopwords. If it exists, we don't keep it. So we're going to do sent for sent in sentence dot split. When you do dot split without passing anything, it will split on space. Then I say if sent not in stopwords dot words. Words is a function, so we're going to add that. So this will give us an iterable that has only words in that sentence that are not stopwords. Then we're going to join them via join them with a space. So this space, sorry, dot join, and I'm going to join the output of this. So this will give us sentences without stopwords. Then what if we were given stopwords? What if we were told not to remove stopwords? Sentence will just be sentence, so we don't need to code this. So pre-processed this list dot append, then we are going to we're going to have this sentence. We are appending that sentence, but I'm going to make it lower, and we're going to remove characters before or after dot strip. Empty spaces, I mean, before or after. Then after that, after we are done with the whole column, we are going to return preprocessed. Yes. So let's recap. We are having a column, and this column is having text. It is this column here that is passed into this function, and we're also going to tell it whether to remove stopwords or not. Then we are instantiating an empty list. Then we have defined the characters to remove here. So for sentence, for each of this statement or a phrase, I'm calling it a sentence here, but it is more than a sentence. It could be a whole paragraph. For sentence, for each of the sentences there, we are going to perform this up to here, cleaning that specific sentence. Then we are going to append it into processed. So when we return this will be a list of clean sentences. Yep. So now let's do data. Data, then we call it clean text should be equal to preprocess, and we are going to preprocess data full text, and the boolean that we are going to pass is true or false. Let's say true. Let us remove stopwords, and we run this. So what you're seeing here, this output is showing you the progress of the loop here. That's the work of TQDM. It helps you to output in your terminal or in any output window how the progress it helps you output the progress of your loop. So let's look at now our data. So this is a very good thing we have removed, is a very good. So you're saying that if we remove stopwords, the context is lost, for example, in this text here. And if we look at here, I can't tell, so I cannot tell what I hate about this. So most of this, if we remove stopwords, the context is lost, so I'm going to put here false. Run this. Then when you run it, yeah, this is a very good thing, but it depends on what you're working on. Sometimes you may need to remove stopwords because the text is too bulky, and you will not lose any context if you remove stopwords, but in this case, when you remove stopwords, the context is lost. So let's do the labeling. So we do from nltk dot sentiment dot Veda. Remember, we downloaded the libraries for Veda. So import sentiment intensity analyzer. Then we're going to sentiment intensity analyzer creates an object that will take a string or a text and gives you output. So we're going to create a function that will help us to do for all. So we're going to define generate sentiment scores, and it takes in the data frame. The type of the data frame is pd.data frame. I don't know what I don't know what's going to be returned, but when we reach there we're going to define what's going to be returned. So I'm going to have sentiment intensity analyzer being equal to that sentiment intensity analyzer to instantiate that object. I'm also going to define my negative values, my positive values, and an overall value. Overall, they're just these are going to be lists. Then I'm going to do for sentence in. Now we know what TQDM does, but in production I doubt if you need TQDM. df, then clean text. Where is the title? It's here. Not clear. It should be data, not df. Oh yeah, it's df because yeah, you can say. So df that, and I want it to be values. So that values to have only the array of values from there. So for each of those sentences, we are going to have our sentence sentiment score, and this is going to be this value dot polarity score, polarity score, then sentence. So I'm going to have from the output of this, I'm going to get the negative score and the positive score. Then I'm going to compute the overall score myself. So the negative, remember this negative is a list, so we can append the value, this sentiment sentence sentiment score, and then we pick negative value from it. Then I also want a positive value, so this is going to be that. Then the overall score, I need to create a function to calculate the overall score. Let me create it here, just a sub function of this. Define overall sentiment, and overall sentiment takes negative value, you can call it a float, and positive value, it's also a float, and it should return a string. So we're going to do if negative, if this is greater than positive, then we are going to return, the string will be negative. And if positive is greater than negative, then we're going to return positive, and if they are equal, we're going to return neutral. So you can also get neutral score from here, but with what we are using, the text that we're using here is gotten from Amazon. The sentiment intensity analyzer is based on, it's an algorithm that is based on on decisions based on social media data. So it would not give us a proper score because it would be more of neutral score. And I find it easier to use only negative and positive scores from it to determine whether it is negative or positive, and it works so well. Then if they are equal, then it is a neutral. Yep, so this is going to help us fill in this overall list. Dot append, and we are going to have this, and it is a function, and it takes in negative, and it takes in positive. Something that is making me uncomfortable here. I want a space between this and a space between this. Yeah, so let me run this. No error. What are we returning from this function? We need to return these three lists. Then we run it. It's okay. So we're going to have them, the list, into the data frame. So data negative, I want to see the negative values. Data positive, and data overall should be equal to this generate score, and generate score is going to take in data, but it is taking, yeah, it's taking data. So let me check for sentence. Yeah, okay, cool. So let's run this. What's the error? Polarity score. We don't have polarity score. It's supposed to be polarity scores. Run that. It's complete. So let's look at our data, and we can now see that we have our sentiments. This is a very good thing. This is a positive sentiment. I can't tell what I hate about this mic. It's a negative sentiment. I was worried at first, but since delivery, I think we can try to read them. So here, I was worried at first, but since delivery, I like it. It is a positive sentiment. Then extremely disappointed, it's a negative sentiment. So this is how you can do sentiment labeling of your data. Just a quick note is that the VEDA is based on social media sentiments. You should be very careful when you're using it on data that is from a marketplace. But apart from that, this is how you do your labeling for sentiments if you have your data, and now you can easily do your business analysis on the sentiments that you have and see if people like the product that you're giving out or people don't like the product, and you see what to do about it in terms of your business. Yeah, so that is it for today. If you want to know how to handle duplicates with pandas, you can watch this video on the left that is showing now. Don't forget to subscribe. Till tomorrow, learn something, teach someone. Bye.